Start. All right, everyone. Welcome back here. SportsBook Sports, all things sports betting. I'm your host, Connor, with my boy, Ben, today.
Yo.
GA is out of the office, so we got a substitute. Wouldn't call him the sixth man. He's more of like a 9th, 10th guy off the bench, but we brought him in today. He's got some knowledge on college football. And he's honestly got some picks for the TBT tournament tonight, so we'll discuss a little bit about that. We're going to do a little bit of a preview of some of our thoughts and some of the conferences for college football this year. So it's going to be a little bit of a segue into, I think, more of an in-depth episode as we move on. But first off, definitely follow the Instagram, the Twitter, the YouTube, SportsBook Sports on Instagram and YouTube. Twitter is SportsBook Talks. Definitely need some interaction on there. We'd love your guys' follow, anything that you can do to help us out. Before we bring Ben in, I'm just going to recap Greg and I's 100K challenge so far. So far, Greg is 13-33. Not so hot so far for him. Had a rough night last night. Hopefully we can all bounce back today. I had a pretty solid day yesterday. I'm up 1,500 on the year, 19-22-1 overall. Greg is at 13-33-1. Don't let the record fool you. There's definitely been a lot of long shots thrown in there, parlays as well, and other prop bets, I guess you could call them. But overall, he's down about $4,000, so he's at 5,900 for his bankroll. But as we said, we got to keep the units the same, keep pushing along, hopefully put a hot streak together and get him back in the green soon. So I'm going to bring Ben in here just so we can throw some picks in right off the rip for tonight. I'm just going to recap Greg's real quick. He has the Brewers -1.5, 250 to win 300. They have the Braves tonight. Don't really know what he's thinking on that game. I think it's a solid pick. I like the Brewers overall. They've been hitting the ball well lately. And then also he's got the Padres -1.5 against the Rockies, who, took care of them last night, but they normally are terrible on the road. So hopefully this is something he can come back and bounce back today. But Ben, let's hear what you have for tonight. It looks like you got a fucking Bellator pick and a TBT pick. I mean, what's your thoughts on those?
There's slim pickings right now in the betting world. That is changing soon with football coming along, but definitely slim pickings right now.
I can agree 100% there.
So, there is actually a card in UFC tonight and a card in Bellator.
What is it? It's fight night for UFC tonight?
Yeah, it's kind of a weak card. Uriah Hall is the headline.
Is the main event.
Yeah, he's the main event. It's not a horrible card, but the main event's pretty weak.
Yeah, when's the Gaethje fight? Is that next weekend or the weekend after?
I think Cyril Gane versus Derek Lewis is this coming weekend.
Next one. And then Gaethje is after that?
I believe so.
Because I saw something about Gaethje fighting, and I was like, oh shit, is that tonight? Because I just like watching him fight.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, what's up with this fucking this Bellator fight?
So actually, I think the Bellator main event tonight is way more exciting than the UFC main event. It is AJ McKee versus Patricio Pitbull. So Pitbull is the
holy shit. That's really the dude's last name, huh?
Yeah. Yep. He has a weird. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Oh, they just call him Patricio Pitbull. Oh, okay.
Patricio is his first name.
Yeah.
But he's the champ of that division, 145. He beat Michael Chandler, the guy that's in the UFC right now.
Yep.
So he knocked him out, I believe, 4 fights ago.
Okay.
But he's fighting this guy, AJ McKee, who is kind of like Floyd. Like, he talks a lot of shit. He's all about money. His dad's his trainer. And he's 17-0 with 12 6 knockouts, 6 submissions. So it's kind of like, it's like if this was at the UFC, this would be a huge fight. This would be like, oh god, like the young buck going against this guy who's kind of in his prime.
Yeah.
But I think AJ McKee's gonna dethrone Patricio. They'll probably fight again.
Do it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna win by decision.
McKee is.
Yeah, I do. I think he's gonna win by decision. He's minus 110. So yeah, I would put like 220 on that.
Yeah, it looks like he got 220 to win 200.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, McKee's 26 years old. Patricio's like 35.
Yep, exactly. And they've been talking a lot of shit.
Back and forth.
Yeah, Patricio said he's gonna knock AJ out in front of his dad. AJ said, "I'm gonna knock you out in front of your family." And
Jesus.
like Patricio brought his Pitbull brought his son on stage for the face-off. Like, it was they were staring at each other for a good like 5 minutes.
So like you said, if this was UFC,
If this was UFC, this would be huge, right?
Yeah,
now.
like they would have, and you would see a lot more like media coverage on it.
Oh, for sure.
That's
for
why
sure.
I agree with you. I mean, I've only watched maybe a handful of Bellator fights overall.
Yeah.
And when I have, I honestly, you know how there's some cards on UFC where like you watch some of like the prelims and shit like that, and it's sort of just like them throwing people on just to fill it.
Yeah.
I don't think Bellator, like, they have dogs.
No, they do. They do. They pay their dudes pretty well.
Do they?
They pay their guys pretty well. Like those two guys that I'm talking about, Pitbull and AJ, they're definitely getting paid pretty well.
Pretty good money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to see because you obviously, I always hear shit about
Bellator
and how they obviously don't have like the same, they don't pay their guys the same, they don't treat them the same, they don't get the same like endorsement deals because
they just for some reason are not as good as getting attention on their brand.
UFC,
like it's legitimately considered like second by far to UFC. But like if you just were to look at the fighters, like it wouldn't be clear second.
Yeah.
Like these two guys could go on. Like I said, if Chandler just won his last fight, which he won the first round and then lost the second round to Oliveira.
Mm-hmm.
But if he won that, he was going to fight for the 155, or he was going to have the 155 belt.
Yeah.
And he just lost to Pitbull 4 fights ago.
Yeah. That's what's crazy. I mean, the Bellator, I think, should get a little bit more media coverage. They need to do. I think they have to do a better job as an organization to get that. But like I said, I mean, I love the product they put out from the fights that I've seen. Obviously, with the UFC the way it is, I mean, they be on ESPN and shit like that, so it's just easy access to watch it.
Yeah.
But it's honestly, it's been good product, like I said, from what I've seen from Bellator. But get into your other pick about the TBT tournament, because I know that one already tipped off.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into that then. I like Sideline Cancer.
Yep.
Who was the team that lost in the championship last year of the TBT.
Okay.
To I believe Golden Eagles, the Marquette
team.
They just lost earlier today, but they won it last year over Sideline Cancer, and I think Sideline Cancer is gonna win. Could win it all. They might be my pick to win it all, but I think they're definitely going to win tonight against Team 23. Team 23 has definitely a ton of athletes. I just think Sideline Cancer is super motivated right now.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to get it done. They have experience, especially at the end of the game.
Yep.
They have the closer, and I think they're going to win.
Yeah, they got
plus
that.
4.5.
Are you talking about Marcus Keene?
Yeah, I think he's the closer. He's going to close it out for them.
Yeah. Once I saw him on their roster, I remember him in college. He won me some bets when he was at Central Michigan because the dude was getting like 30 a game.
Yeah.
There was one game I remember I watched. He just fucking tore it up. Like I think he had like the last 16 points.
Yeah. And
they were down like 5 or 6, and I needed him to cover by like 4, and he just went off. And then they were fouling him at the end. He just made every single free throw. It was
he's gonna close it out for them. I think Jamel Artis is gonna have a big game for them also.
Yeah, he's from.
He was on Pitt.
Pitt in college, right? Yeah, I knew I heard of that name.
Yeah.
I guess that's where I'll slide into mine because I have a pick for the TBT tournament tonight too. I got the money team. Floyd Mayweather sponsored. They have a pretty solid squad overall. I'm taking them 500 to win 500 minus half a point.
Minus half a point.
Yeah. And it was weird that I saw the juice at that.
They're playing.
They are playing. I was just looking at it, and I can't remember the team exactly. But hold on one second. They're playing Blue Collar.
Yeah, Blue Collar. That's the Buffalo.
Yep. That's the Buffalo team.
Yeah.
They just have, I like their guards. They have Jordan Crawford, who's just like an overseas vet.
He's an animal.
I like the Ledbetter dude, fucking with his long ass hair, just fucking stroking everywhere.
Yeah.
And then they have this year they picked up because TBT's been in it since they started this thing, the TMT.
The money team, yeah.
Yeah, the money team. They've been in it ever
They
since.
had that 5'6" guy, right? Crawford.
Yeah, that's the dude I was talking about. He's just like, if that dude Crawford was like 6 foot, he's in the league.
Yeah.
But he's like 5'5".
Yeah.
Yeah, they have him listed at 5'6" here.
And then who's their other guard? Well, that starts with an M. His last name
starts with an M. His
he
last
hit
name.
A buzzer beater for them, or the game winner for them a couple of nights ago.
Malcolm Thomas, is it? No, that's their big man.
No.
Not seeing it on the roster here.
Yeah, never mind then.
But who I like about them is they have that Jonathan Simmons dude.
Yeah.
Oh, Xavier Munford.
Mumford, yes, that's who it is. Mumford.
Yeah, and he's an animal.
Yeah, he hit the game winner for them in their last game, I believe.
Well, and the funny thing was Jonathan Simmons, I think, played one game for them, and he hasn't been back since. I don't know if he's like trying to get back into the league or something, but he's one of those dudes that just
He's an NBA player.
Yeah, he could just easily dominate this if he really tried.
Yeah.
But into my other picks, I'm following Greg on the Padres pick, 250 to win, 265 minus 1.5. Then I'm going for my little underdog of the night with the Indians money line 500 to win 650. I like Tristan McKenzie, who's on the mound for them tonight. A lot of people are backing the White Sox, which is definitely understandable. Considering who they are, I just think the Indians can steal one in this series, and with that type of juice, I'm gonna slide into that one. But what was that? Oh yeah, I'm gonna slide right into that. I mean, I think it's good value for baseball, especially. Like, I think it doesn't come across that much where I feel like the lines makers are a little messed up. Granted, the White Sox should be a favorite every single game, pretty much that they play. This one's only plus 130 for the Indians, but with Keuchel on the mound for the White Sox and then McKenzie pitching, I just think it just screams a good matchup for the Indians to put up some runs, and hopefully McKenzie can pitch a good game for them overall. But I was going to say, let's just dive right into what I had sort of briefed in the beginning.
College football.
Yes, which I am fucking highly excited about.
This might be the last year of real traditional college football as we know it.
Yeah. Well, give me a little background. What do you mean by that exactly?
Texas and Oklahoma just got accepted into the SEC.
Oh, yeah?
So not only are players getting paid now, but the conferences are pretty much being completely realigned.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's going to be wild, and it could either be in 2025 that happens, or it could be as soon as next year. Yeah. But this is the last year for sure that it's traditional college football.
I was going to say, you know what I was thinking a little bit about, and I know me and you have talked about this whole new landscape of the NCAA in general with players being paid and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to change college football.
It definitely is.
You're going to have... I mean, granted, football is one sport where dudes stay 4 years no matter what normally, because there's no overseas route for them to take. No. The NFL is such a fucking competitive... Such a competitive...
They have to be there 3 years, too, at least.
Yeah, minimum 3 years.
Yeah, so that leads to another year a lot of the time.
Yeah. And we've talked about how we thought some dudes that... I remember we mentioned Mac McClung, who played college hoops. He would have never left this year because he would have been making M's in college.
Yeah, I agree.
So why would he leave that platform to try to go to the NBA when he doesn't he's not a guarantee?
Yeah. He's
not a first rounder. The first rounders, the ones that are I'm going in the first round, they're going to leave because the money's just too good.
Well, we just had I believe it's Ohio State has the number one quarterback recruit in the nation supposed to come in next year. He'll be a freshman next year. Yeah. He's already looking to leave high school early.
To come in.
Just to come in so maybe he can make some money.
Well, these high school dudes can make money too, technically, right?
I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I don't know about that. I don't think so, actually. I think no, they can't. I just know that the state of Florida came out recently and said they couldn't.
Okay.
But yeah, that kid's looking, because I believe he already graduated, so he would be there for another year of football.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm about to leave early, go get taught by better coaches most likely, and have potential of making money. Because, I mean, the Alabama quarterback hasn't even started a game, and they're saying he's close to 7 figures.
Yeah, he's already making a couple million, right?
Well, $1 million, close to $1 million, they said.
Jesus.
And he hasn't even played a game yet for them.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. So all of college football is going to be changed.
Yeah.
Which trickles down to all of college sports, period. Conferences are going to be completely different.
Yeah, it's true. And you're going to, you know how we saw a lot of, I feel like we saw a lot of movement at one point with schools changing conferences and shit like that. We're already, like you said, we're already seeing it with like Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC. I think we're going to see a lot more of that because wherever they can generate the most revenue.
That's all that matters
that's
now.
all that, yeah, that's all that they care about.
Period.
But let's dive right into it. I know we wanted to speak about the ACC and the Pac-12, right?
Yeah, season over-unders.
Yeah, so what me and Ben are both going to do today is, as a little preview, and we're not going to mark these bets down. We're not going to, we're not putting them in just yet, but we're throwing them out there as our analysis on what we think. As far as we're going to pick one team apiece within the ACC and the Pac-12 that we think right now has good value for their over-under. So, Ben, if you want to go right into yours, I know you had one off the rip for the ACC.
Yeah, Boston College I like a lot for their season over-under.
Which was 7?
Yes, over 7. I have them going for minus 130.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I'm looking at their schedule. They got Colgate, game 1.
Yep, and this is second-year head coach.
Jeff Hafley, it looks like.
Coming from the Patriots. Bill
okay.
Belichick.
Okay. Who was their quarterback last year?
Yeah, so Phil Jerkovich.
Big dude, right?
Big dude. He was a freshman last year. He, honestly, the reason I like them is because if you look at a lot of their games, a lot of their schedule, he's going to be the best quarterback in most of those games.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's going to keep them in it a lot. And I think the first 3 games are pretty doable.
Yeah, those are pretty easy games.
Yeah, and I mean, they were good last year. I don't know if you remember, but they might have been Clemson's toughest game other than Notre Dame.
Yep. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, Clemson didn't have Trevor Lawrence in that game, but still, they really took them to the wire. They were winning, I believe, by like 2 touchdowns at half.
So right now, their schedule has 6, 8, 10, 12 games.
Yep.
They're at 7, the over-under, right?
Yep.
So they got Colgate, they got UMass, who sucks.
I got them winning first 3.
And Temple.
I got them winning first 3. All those teams are very, very winnable games.
Yeah, those should be, for a team like Boston College, they should manhandle every single one of those games.
And then the 4th game, I believe, is at home against Missouri.
Yep.
That's a battle, but that's really, I think, a pick'em. That's going to be a pick'em type game.
Yep.
Missouri is SEC, but they're a bottom tier SEC team.
Yep.
They have a quarterback that I believe was a freshman last year too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be, a battle of the young freshman quarterbacks.
Yep.
And I think they can win. They could easily start 4-0, and we're already more than halfway there. First 4 games of the season.
Okay. Then they got Clemson next. Obviously, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Like I said, played them close last year, but I would take Clemson in that.
Yeah. Especially if you're just talking straight up,
Yeah, exactly. I would definitely take Clemson in that.
Then they got NC State.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be another tough one at home, luckily. But from what it says on the website I'm looking at, they're starting as a minus 1.5 point favorite in that one.
And those are all like projected lines.
Yep, exactly.
Things might change as the year goes on. There could be injuries, anything that could change it.
But the way I look at that is the next game's at Louisville +1.
Yep.
It's gonna be another tough one. I would just take one of those games.
Yeah.
I'll take one of those. Give me 5 wins right there. And then they play at Syracuse minus 8.5 point favorite. I mean, Syracuse is pretty bad this year. I think their over-under is like 3 wins.
Yeah.
So I would take Boston College again there, and then at Georgia Tech, Florida State, and Wake Forest, I think they can win one of those for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like Florida State a lot with that plus. I mean, over/under 7 wins.
Boston College.
College, yeah. Sorry.
Right now you have them. We talked all the way up until Virginia Tech, right? Or did you go all through all those?
All the way to Virginia Tech. Yep.
So right now you would have Colgate win, Massachusetts win,
Yep.
Temple win, Missouri win,
Yep.
Clemson loss.
Yep. NC State or Louisville win. So that's one of those.
So that's
win.
5-2.
Yep. 5-2. Lost.
Cuse.
Beat Cuse. That's
6-2.
Lose to Virginia Tech. And then I think they win one of those games at Georgia Tech -2.5. Probably could be that one, honestly.
Yep. So that gets them to 7.
That gets them to 7.
And they got to win one of the last two.
-5.5 to Florida State. I'll say they lose that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then they beat Wake Forest at home -2.
Okay. So you got them going 8-4 overall.
Yep.
Is what you're thinking.
Yep.
Okay. I could see that happening, especially with some of those games.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they could do, 8-4, I think, is definitely going
Yeah.
to.
It's funny because you're one of the teams, obviously it's the ACC, so they're going to play the same teams for the most part. Where I see some value with my pick for this year is Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Yeah. 4.5 wins overall, which I think is low. Yeah. I think their quarterback last year was Jeff Sims, who played well. Looks like they have 16 overall returning starters. Their defense last year wasn't that good. They in certain games they'd fucking give up a ton of points to like low level teams. Teams that they should be able to stop defensively, but just weren't able to. But looking at their schedule, I think they can skate by with 5 wins. I mean, they have a tough back end to it.
I mean, their schedule is the only thing holding them back.
Yeah.
They're a sleeper in the ACC other than the schedule.
Yep. Because I was going to say, they got frickin' Northern Illinois and Kennesaw State to start it off.
Should be 2 wins.
Which should be 2-0.
If it's not 2 wins, their coach is in trouble.
Yeah, they might need to get rid of them right then and there.
Yep.
So that's 2-0. Then Clemson and North Carolina, I think both of those are L's.
Yep.
I think they can steal one potentially from Pittsburgh.
Yep, I like that.
But even if you take that as an L, I see them beating Duke.
Yeah.
I see them. I think they can get that one from Pittsburgh just because they're home.
Yeah.
Virginia could be tough, but we'll see how they come out and play. I think they can steal this one from Virginia Tech. So okay. I think that puts them at 5 there.
Yep.
And then, the rest of the year is the downfall. They got Miami. It's crazy.
Just me looking at it right now, that Boston College game is huge.
Yeah, because that could be the one that either puts them over or doesn't.
Because I don't see them winning at Notre Dame, Georgia,
Miami.
You say Virginia Tech. I don't see that one.
I don't see that one either, but they're home.
One of those, one or Pittsburgh or Virginia Tech. I can see one of those for sure.
Yep. Agreed. I think they can.
They're at home.
Yeah, I think they need to get that one in Duke if they're going to go over the 4.5. I think personally because
they're going to get that one at Duke.
Yeah, because Duke is trash. I mean, I don't think they're supposed to be any good this year. What I was looking at before, their over/under is fucking 4, and they are atrocious defensively as well. But I remember watching the.
So Georgia. You would need to get 2 out of 3 versus Pitt, Virginia Tech, Boston College, pretty much, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, because we're saying Northern Illinois, Kennesaw State definite wins this 2. I think Duke's a definite win this 3. And then, 2 out of 3 from Boston College, Pitt, and Virginia Tech. It's doable.
Yep.
It's definitely doable.
Yeah. Yes, I just like it. I think their offense is going to be a little bit more have a little more firepower this year. They're returning their quarterback and 7 other starters on offense, and then 9 on the defensive end. So I think that 4.5 is good value. And what I say that on here is -120, but on FanDuel, I think it was -110. So just a little bit better juice there.
Yeah, strength of schedule 4 out of 130.
Yeah,
that's their only problem. If they had Boston College schedule, I think they would be cruising.
Yeah, I mean when you have, I don't know why they throw Georgia in at then. I don't know if that's like a rivalry.
It's a rivalry. They do it
every year. Yeah. So they got. I mean they have their back end's very tough.
Yeah.
When you got to play Miami, Notre Dame, Georgia.
Yeah.
3 of your last 4 games. I mean.
Yeah.
They need to just win one of those.
Yep.
Or not win one of those, but
Nah.
They're going to get, what I'm saying is they need to get their 5 wins before
Yeah.
they play those last 4
Yeah.
games. But yeah, that looks like that's sort of what I'm thinking for the ACC. We obviously got yours with Boston College.
Yep.
So let's just jump right into the Pac-12.
Yep.
Who do you have in the Pac-12 there?
I have Utah as my team in the Pac-12.
Okay.
Utah had a kind of so their coach is Kyle Whittingham. He's been there for a while, and he really, after Urban Meyer left, he's made Utah kind of a powerhouse in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
They've been in the Final Four playoff contention before.
Mm-hmm.
But last year they actually had a pretty down year. Quarterback position they really struggled at.
Yeah.
They have a new quarterback coming in, so I really like Utah. I think that they're, I believe it's 8.5. Yeah, over 8.5. I had them at -120.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot. I think I think they're gonna win the Pac-12 South.
Do you?
So that will put them at definitely over -8.5 games. And yeah, their schedule's pretty favorable. That's why I really like them.
Yeah. Yeah, the strength of the schedule thing is definitely huge when it comes to this because there's certain ways you can just piece it together if things go correct.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So 8.5 right now. They got Weber State.
Yep, win
at BYU.
That's going to be a tough one, but BYU, obviously, everyone knows loses Wilson.
Yeah.
Second pick to the Jets. That's going to be huge for them.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to fill
That's
back
a big
in.
rivalry. That's the holy war, Utah versus BYU. I think Utah gets it again this year. They've been pretty dominant, I believe, in that rivalry of late.
Mm-hmm. Then they got San Diego State, W.
Yep, that's going to be a tough one, but I think they win that one again.
Washington State.
Washington State, another tough game, but I think Utah wins that one also.
Yep. USC, that's a tough
That's
one.
going to be
USC.
Yeah, that's going to probably decide the Pac-12 South, possibly. But yeah, I'll say USC wins that one.
Okay. Then they go back home against Arizona State.
I think they definitely win that one. Arizona State, a lot of people know, going through turmoil right now with Herm Edwards maybe be having to get fired as head coach with recruiting violations.
Jesus.
Otherwise, if that didn't happen, Arizona State was the sleeper I had in this division.
Yeah.
But I think with that happening, Utah's going to take their place, and Utah gets that win.
Okay. Then they got Oregon State at Oregon State.
Yeah, it's a tough one. -8, it looks like, at Oregon State. But I think they sneaked that one out. Oregon State, good team, but they don't have that running back that they've always had.
Yeah.
So I think that Utah sneaks that one out. And then UCLA at home, another tough one. Chip Kelly's going to desperately need that win. But I think they get that one. I think they get UCLA at home. I mean, UCLA's a running team. Chip Kelly wants to run it, and that's what Utah does, is stop the run.
Yep.
So that puts us at how many wins?
1, 2, 3, 4.
That it puts us at 7 wins.
Yep.
With 4 left. So yeah, at Stanford, a tough one. I'll give that one to Stanford. I'll say Stanford gets that one.
Okay. Then you got at Arizona.
I think they cruise in that one. Arizona, new coach.
Yeah.
They're going to struggle this year.
Arizona's always somewhat trash at football,
Yeah,
I feel like, too.
they're going to get that one. So that puts us at, what, 7 wins? Or 8 wins?
8 wins, yeah.
8 wins, yeah. Then at home against Oregon, another game that can... If they win this one, I think they probably win the division. But I'll say Oregon gets the win on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got them at home just dominating Colorado, getting us that over.
So that's, I mean, you put yourself in a good position if you can get to that last 3 games with 7.
Yep, exactly.
So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So essentially you need to go 8-2 in your first 10.
Yep.
And then you could win those last 2. And that's if, there's a couple games in there that potentially they could win, like you said the USC one.
Yep.
And then
that one's pretty. They probably should lose that. USC is a +6.5 favorite.
Yeah, it's saying that, but it's, you never know. Like those are all, like I said, projected lines.
Yep.
So that's all going to change, and also depending on what it's like when the season actually starts.
I think the first 4 are just a lock, and that puts you already almost halfway there. 4-0. They get that. Arizona State and USC are both tough, but Oregon State should be easy win.
Yep.
Stanford, I think I had them losing, but they're -4.5, so that could be an easy win.
Yep.
Arizona, and then Colorado should be easy also.
Yep.
So you really only have a couple questionable games in there.
Yeah. A couple ones. That
Oregon and USC, really.
To stir up the pot.
Other than that, they're going to be favored in every single game.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, that's Utah, and
Yep.
I know you mentioned UCLA in yours, so that's where I'm going with mine.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I think Chip Kelly finally got his recruits in a way. He's been there for his fourth. This is going to be his fourth year. I was going to say fifth. Their quarterback last year was pretty solid. I'm reading his name here, Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Yeah, he's been there for, I think, 3 years now?
Yeah, I think this might be his third year.
Yeah, he's a veteran in that system.
Yeah, so I think they're starting to put it together. They returned 20 starters for a team that went 3-4 last year.
Yep.
And a lot of their games, like
all close games.
Like, I'm looking at it right now.
Yep.
4 losses, all decided between 15 points.
Exactly. Yep.
So, and at Colorado, you got to win that game. That's a terrible way to start the year.
Yep.
Or at Oregon, obviously, that is what it is.
I mean, but that's a battle. They were right there. That shows how good this team can be.
Yeah, that just
Oregon
shows.
Won the conference.
I think that's just like, I didn't get to see a ton of UCLA football. The only game I remember
They
watching.
were close every game.
Yeah, I remember watching them play USC at the end of the year.
Yep.
And that was just a high scoring battle.
Yep.
But I think a lot of their games, like even in that one, I saw them make a lot of like mistakes that only young people do.
Yep.
And that's why you can see it in their returning 20 people, 10 on defense, 10 on offense. I think they just have good value in getting 7 wins. So looking at their schedule,
that's their only problem once again.
Again,
is another tough schedule.
Yep, which Chip Kelly wants. It's 15th in the nation.
Yep.
But that's the thing is I like it at 7, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because 8, if it was 7.5, I might float at the under.
Yeah.
But 7 I can take because I think they can get the 8 wins. But I'll take 7 as a push.
I think the huge game for you is week 2. They can get you 2 wins right off the bat. That would be crazy. And
the only thing is that LSU one's tough. But I mean, you never know. LSU, I think with their coach, no matter who they got, they just come in and win certain games.
Yeah, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. Though.
And LSU?
Both new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator.
So that's tough.
Fired the last 2 guys.
That's definitely tough.
But no, it's going to be a close one.
Yep.
LSU obviously a favorite. UCLA's +4.
Yep.
But okay, we'll give LSU that win. So that's 1-1.
Yeah, we'll give like you said, we'll give LSU that one. Fresno State W.
Yep. 2-1
at Stanford. I think they gotta win that one.
Yep.
That's gonna be the one right there that they gotta get done.
I agree. So
then
we'll give. You want that win?
Yep.
3-1.
They gotta beat Arizona State.
4-1.
They gotta beat Arizona at Arizona. Just a W. Like it says.
5-1.
Yep. Then Washington. That's gonna be a tough place to go play.
Yeah.
So I'll take that as an L.
5-2.
Oregon L.
5-3.
Utah L.
5-4.
And then they gotta win Colorado. They gotta win 2 of their last 3.
Colorado for sure.
Yeah, I think they beat Colorado and Cal.
6.
Yep, and then they win Cal their last game.
So that gets them 7.
I think the thing is, I think they can skate by. Maybe one of those home games they gotta
that
win.
LSU game is huge.
Yeah, that could be. I think it's either gonna be. It comes down to that LSU game or the Oregon game.
Yeah.
I think depending on how they're playing second half of the year or second half of the season.
Oregon's got quarterback problems, so I mean their whole season could be crazy.
Yeah, and that game's in UCLA.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's the ones at home they got to steal.
Yeah.
And now that I'm seeing that too with the LSU game, that being home,
yeah.
That's going to
just early in the season, that's the big part.
Yeah.
Hopefully UCLA is a well-oiled machine, and LSU, like I said, new coordinators, is still trying to get it together.
Yeah, they're
that's
a little
LSU's
sketchy.
first game.
Yep.
That's LSU's week 1, whereas UCLA will have a game against Hawaii, who's not bad. Hawaii's a pretty good team.
Yeah, Hawaii's solid.
So if UCLA can beat Hawaii in a good game, then I think that they can really give LSU some trouble.
Yeah, and if they can come off the bat, it's easy to say this. If they can come off the bat and go 4-0, then that sets the tone for the year. You know what I mean? I think that gives them a good, a positive mindset.
Then they can get really dangerous.
Yeah, then I think they can put it together and get to 8.
Yeah, you'll know if you won that bet probably pretty early in the season.
At least you'll feel confident about it.
Yeah.
I was looking at it too. They have two running backs.
Yes.
They just got a Michigan transfer.
Yep.
And they have their senior running back Britton Brown behind a very experienced physical offensive line, it says in what I'm reading. Yep. And that's
why they want to run the ball.
I think having that in college is probably one of the most significant things you can offer from a college standpoint. Yeah. It's like a great offensive line.
Yeah. Their quarterback and his turnovers is going to be the game changer for them.
Well, they said it's showing last year he had in his games, he had 18 touchdowns with 4 picks. Yeah, I mean, that's huge. If he can have that type of year, that type of ratio when it comes to picks to turnovers, I think we can pull out this 8. But yeah, that's just our quick recap. Ben obviously has a lot of knowledge when it comes to college football. That's why we wanted to bring him in on this. He definitely dives in deep, just like we all do when it comes to this, and he looks at the ins and outs a little bit more. So we wanted to just throw you guys a recap on or a preview, I should say, on what we have going for our over-unders for this year. And on the next episode, I think we're going to dive into the rest of the Power 5 conferences and discuss a little bit more on some of the future picks that we have. Heisman. We'll get Greg in on that episode too, because he'll be back here in the next couple days. And, we'll see what we can do for college football. And then we also have some things going with the NFL. So we'll definitely throw that out there as well. But that's pretty much it for this episode. We definitely appreciate everyone listening. Again, go follow the Instagram and the Twitter, SportsBook Sports and SportsBook Talks. Subscribe to the YouTube, SportsBook Sports. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Peace.